High in the Himalaya, hidden sacred lands, remote, beautiful, peaceful places, popularly known as Shangri-Las. Tibet, in the west Hunza, Ladakh, Nepal, Sikkim, in fiction and fable, heavens high up, lands of immortality. The location of the best ever nature book, if we can call it that, The Snow Leopard by Peter Matheson. Lesser story of trying to find the snow leopard and more about the inward journey to the heart. This then is Bhutan, the best known place for what? For a thing called gross national happiness, and how that is taken to be more important than GDP. For saying happiness and equality, nature and culture are more important than blind growth. It's a big, beautiful story. It's a thing that makes people elsewhere smirk and say there's something wrong with that. But it's central to the life and culture of Bhutan. In the early 1970s, the fourth king, Jigme Wingchuk, he takes a risk, sees the present danger, wraps it up in a big idea, says, we need this thing to make our people feel proud. He's only 18, mature, beyond his years. It's one hell of a story of gross national happiness. The king declares Bhutan's primary aim should be gross national happiness. All else should serve economy, culture, society. What's Bhutan known for now? Well, precisely this. It's described in Bhutanese as Ga Kid Palzon. Ga, happy, Kid, peaceful, Pel, prosperity, Zon, convergent, meaning happy, peaceful, prosperity, convergence for all. It's forged the story of the country, the way that people talk, their identity, how they act. A country with no litter, no plastic pollution, no one smoking in public, no pesticides or herbicides permitted or used, thus abundant insect presence, every tree filled with crickets, every green space rich with flocks of butterfly, 900 species of butterfly in all, many more of moths. 75% of the country under protected forest, all food organic, all agriculture regenerative. A country with no slaughterhouse, not one fast food outlet. In the top 10 countries of the world for internal social equality, a flat heterarchy. And this too, phone coverage everywhere, all electricity from hydropower, the surplus sold to India and now the primary source of national income. The country's carbon balance, net negative. All this, difficult to reach, but not impossible. The culture that never fell in a hole, who never felt that gold was the one answer. It is said, each person in Bhutan plans to make this pilgrimage to Taksdang, the tiger's nest. 3 centuries of reverent feet, a weight of devotion up on Thunder Mountain. Hello, old friend, you may say. I feel I know you, for this is who's waiting. Up here, hidden in mountains. The bird-perched temple and monastery built into the 900-metre cliff, half in cloud, spires golden, forest birds calling in the thin air, hidden, not hidden, hidden again. The climb to Tiger's Nest begins not long after dawn. Up there in the eastern hills, above Paro, under the blue dome of sky, up the trail, up steps and foot-worn path, through cool grove of 7-needle pine and oak, orchid and fern and old man's beard, rich epiphytes on every branch. Bright prayer flags hold the land together. A pilgrimage of this kind is said to need right speech, body and mind. Speech is the story, body's the hard work, mind's the agency and effort. It's a tale for any kind of transformation. The mind gradually empties. There's the physical and mental test. Then comes a muffled roar, a detachment from the sky and land. The wind horses stop running. It's the alchemy. The temple shimmers across the ravine. Far below is the valley, the contoured rice around town. At some point, it's time to turn. Climbing pilgrims pause, look up, ask, is it far? A question about life itself. No, not far, don't stop. Transformation awaits. One day, the fourth king gives up his position, wants the next generation to bring another batch of new ideas. The fifth king says, we'll give away my power, create a voting democracy. As easy as that. And this too, the fifth king's vision for a new settlement in the south, Gelefu Mindfulness City, high-tech, new jobs, integrated with wildlife, the buildings all made of wood. What is it then? Are people elsewhere afraid of this idea of contentment, that they'll have to give up things to find it? What you've also not got. You'll hear no one saying, we think selfishness is best, or friendliness is the enemy of economic growth, or that growth is best. Jigme the guide stops, says, just think of what we'd lose. One mountain day starts like this. Sunshine, hot for autumn, clouds hide the hilltops and snow slopes of great Himalayan peaks. It's the first of 3 days of masked dance and celebration, the Setchu festival, the best days of the year. The first day of dance, the Zong amphitheatre's brim full, 8,000 people, dancers down on the stone performance square, to one side the citadel, white walls and golden roofs. Clowns in masks wander, prodding the dancers, leaning into their faces, engaging with the audience in a sideshow of jest and laughter. The tricksters mimic moves, exaggerate, play a slapstick entertainment. No one's allowed to take themselves too seriously. Laughter is good. The audience loves it. Here's the black hat dance, monks spinning as they fight the devils of desire, beating handheld drums. Here are masked animals, the mythical faces of gold and green and blue, the tiger, the snow lion, Garuda, dragon. The audience eats and chats and points. Here's the dance of couples, a tall woman and man, tranquil masks, tested to the limit. Yet marriage survives it all. Children laugh, play on phones. Rain starts to fall, gently as moths at evening dusk. 5,000 umbrellas ping open and families cluster together. Nature's an important healer too, especially when not being beaten half to death. And in each temple, in each Zong fort, there's golden light on the Buddha and disciples, on Guru Rinpoche who brought Buddhism to the country. Butter lamps flutter in endless drafts, wind channeled down wooden corridors, high windows open to the world. In the golden light of sweet lamps, shadows dance on walls, murals are alive. The animals jump and blink, as they did for early humans, right there before the cliff face, the cave wall. A monk drips saffron water on your open hands, for this is the place of story, how to care for places, keep them sacred. By the banks of the river, 2 villages are engaged in archery competition. The men are mostly elders, burned by life in the fields. Like all team sports, there's laughter, jesting, ribbing. They're wearing sashes on their belts, one for each successful strike. The target's no more than a hand span wide. It's 140 meters away. Hitter and hit are not 2 opposing objects. They're the whole. The archer, the bamboo bow, the bamboo arrow. Arrow departs the eye of the archer, curves high in the sky. Time passes as it arches over the butts. There's an acceleration as the arrow is at last caught by the eye. The men simply sway aside. They call to the next archer, right a bit, up, up. Listen to the wind, to all the world around them. Another arrow pierces the sky. A team breaks into dance and song when the arrow strikes the target. All is joy. Jigme laughs, says, "Well, they are a bit drunk." All around, the gold and green of paddy fields, some drained and cut, hand threshing underway. The last of the irrigation water travels from one field to the next below. Frogs are calling. And so the monsoon rebounds, dashes in, a month after it should be over. 16 hours of torrential rain, crashing thunder, dragon, fire and lightning. Morning light comes late, dull and blue. The hills are hidden in mist. The river's maddened, no longer blue and sweet, now rushing, crashing, a venomous snake. Water strikes rock, rises high in standing waves, whole tree trunks spinning and leaping away. "Never seen anything like it at this time of year," says Jigme. Never has such a storm come, so long after the old certainties of monsoon. On the drive over the Dortshula Pass, there are landslides and slips. Rocks ping off the road ahead, bounce away. The driver looks up. The guide looks ahead. And what ugly devils stir up this storm, bring it to the people whose carbon footprint is less than zero? All over the country, all across the northeast of the subcontinent, bridges washed away. Snowstorms come to the high mountains. Strand climbers, a hydro dam is overtopping. What else will come to the Himalaya and its 40,000 mountain glaciers? 1 billion people relying on the steady supply of glacial meltwater for drink and irrigation. Bhutan's the growth story of the 21st century. Growth of happiness, growth of economy working within limits, growth of equality, an economy that does not impose externalities on others. A marvellous thing. How to be happy, peaceful, convergent. Your age of oil? Soon be over, won't it? 800 summers ago, Dogen Genji slides open rice paper doors. He's in the temple he founded, Ihai-ji, the temple of eternal peace. He sees mountain, cloud, patches of blue sky. He writes this in the Mountains and Waters Sutra. There are mountains hidden in sky. There are mountains hidden in mountains. There are mountains hidden in hiddenness.